Johnell, can you take us through the final shot?
Coach, I drew up the play to lead to my left, and I tried to set a drive and tried to step back and get a foul. I do it in practice a lot, and it never goes in, but it just happened to me this time.
Coach, do you prefer them to shoot it with no time remaining, or is that always the goal, or do you like it a few seconds earlier with a rebound potential?
We wanted to make sure we got the last shot. Ideally, you shoot with about 6 seconds. We put that action in today, a shoot around, so there was one guy that couldn't hear me and didn't have the hand signal down yet, but the other 4 guys got it. Look, it's no secret. A lot of what we're trying to do is get him in space to his left hand, and so we just use different ways to camouflage it and mask it, and then maybe use him as a decoy at times to set up something for later. So I like having the ball in his hands late in the game. We'll just leave it at that. 5 seconds, 2 seconds, 10 seconds. We have a high level of trust for this guy.
Coach, how beneficial is it to be facing teams as extremely defensive-minded as North Texas?
It's not very beneficial. It's tough, it's rugged, it's ugly. We prefer the Beach Boys, but we know we have to be equipped to win any style of play, physicality, and that's a good basketball team. Those guys, they have a lot of new pieces, and I would assume if we continue to get better and grow, we're going to see them again in March.
Coach, Johnell just mentioned drawing up a play. You said a few weeks ago on your press conference that if 1 or 2 coaches agree with you, you're going to go with that play. But if everyone else teams up on you, you're going to have to listen to them. What was going through in the huddle?
Well, that was a broken play, and it's always, we don't run a lot of sets where we have to do this, we have to do that. It's we're in these positions, and let's read the defense and play. And as we're coming down in transition, there's 20 seconds left, and Nelly's got the ball. We add a new action that they wouldn't recognize, and we have a decision: do we call timeout? And I'm thinking if we call timeout, then they're going to load here and try to take it out of his hands. And so decided not to call timeout, trust him. When they didn't bite on a shot fake, I probably should have called it with 2 or 3 seconds, but when he goes up into the shot, as you saw, as you see in college basketball a lot of times, you got to when you've got a potential player of the year on your team, you've got to trust him.
Coach, I was talking to one of the North Texas announcers earlier, and he's amazed at the way this rivalry is because he calls them bunk buddies, Sun Belt, Conference USA, and now American Athletic. So when you have a rivalry like this, do you embrace it a lot more considering the history of the 2 teams that now you've actually stepped up in class with the American Athletic, that it'll even get more intense as March Madness starts to come along?
Yeah, we feel like we've really developed some healthy rivalry relationships with a few teams in our league, and North Texas being one. And that's a compliment because when the games don't mean a lot, you're battling for 8th or 9th or 10th or whatever it was, the games are different. And it seems like both of us have been competing for championships. And we couldn't have more respect for their players, their coaches, their program as a whole. It's a well-run machine. And they have people that are all about winning. And we try to pride ourselves on similar things. We're obviously different with some stylistic things, but to the core, we feel like we're very similar, and we enjoy butting heads against them because it's difficult, and we love challenges, and we love to compete. So.
Well, follow-up is you entered today's game second in the conference and they're fourth, so obviously, it's nothing like a good championship Sunday feel to it that you're playing an elite game here on a day which obviously a lot of people will be watching football later.
Well, we hope this has championship ramifications later. We're not worried about that. We've got 6 days to get our minds and bodies right and prepare for another home game and all focus towards that. We're not thinking about championships now, but we are thinking about developing and building championship habits.
Dusty, is this almost as simple as sometimes great offense beats great defense? I mean, I think only 2 guys had 20 or more than 20 against them all year. Obviously, Johnell 28 today. Is it sometimes just that simple that even great defenses don't have every answer?
I think so, yeah, I would agree with that. And we pride ourselves on being really solid on both sides of the ball. This year, our defense is catching up to our offense.
Coach, Vlad seemed to have a really strong second half after missing some easy ones there in the first half. Could you talk about his game tonight and how he bounced back?
Well, I thought he made a couple really poised, strong drives, and the ball didn't drop. And we pride ourselves on not being outcome-based. When we take that shot 100 possessions out of 100 a game, absolutely. Vlad was in foul trouble. Vlad had a couple early fouls, and therefore he didn't play a lot in the first half. He wasn't as aggressive as usual. In the second half, he got in the flow, and he was very, very impactful. You saw us get several extra possessions. We came in the first half basically without Vlad, down 1 rebound. The second half, we win the rebound advantage by I think 8. We got 46% of our shots back. And if Vlad's in foul trouble the entire second half, there's no way that happens.
John, how comfortable have you gotten, or I think your team has gotten with these down to the wire, everything seems to be on the last shot sort of situations for you guys? How comfortable is this group with that?
We're very comfortable because we know what we got to do, and at the end of the day, we know we don't.
Last question.
Nick had a couple of impressive closeouts on the defensive stand that set up Nelly's basket. Can you talk about your just a little bit more about exactly how far your defense has come in the last week or so, and also your offensive rebound or your ability to keep them off of the offensive board was big too.
Yeah, we're not extremely pleased with our defensive performance today. Either side of the ball, we're pleased that we found a way to win, but we've got to clean some things up and get a lot better. North Texas had great looks, and to be honest, against their defense, we were pretty happy with a lot of our looks. They just challenge everything, and that's a compliment, because if you can challenge every movement, every pass, every shot, we're not used to it in the games because very few teams have the multiple effort after multiple effort. And you think you're open, and then an elite athlete flies out of nowhere to get a late contest, it's different. And obviously there's a lot of energy in that building, but yeah, we found a way.
Last question right here.
I have to ask you this, if you're watching NFL football there, you got the Ravens and the Chiefs and the Lions facing
The Ravens and the Chiefs and the Lions.
The Lions.
No, I'm locked into Memphis, UAB, a couple more East Carolina plays today. Yeah, I'll look. I'm not gonna lie, so I'll watch the highlights. No, I could care less. If the Colts were in it, I would peek at it as I was watching the film. I'd look at the screen here and there. No, it's hoop season.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you guys. Who's playing again?